It's not the first time we'll see a father on a bench. Had a father-daughter moment earlier, father-son now. Carl MOREGARD, who's been acting as his manager. Malta, his other son, another brother, who's been acting as coach for TRULS over the years, also a wonderful player. It's amazing how many levels there are in table tennis, but it's nice when the family can all gather around. We've seen it in many families where so much energy goes into the same project, and here in their WTT head-to-head on the tail of the table, TRULS has won both of their encounters. The world ranked number 7 in TRULS MOREGARD versus the world ranked number 18. TRULS has been as high as 3 in the world. Jonathan just 3 in front of where he is now. It'll be exciting to see them battle. Could go either way. Li Lin, umpire for the match, will be taking care of the coin toss to determine where the players stand and who serves.
Red squad, blue from MOREGARD. Red winner toss, what do you want? Service, which side? Good match.
So there it is. Jonathan GROTH choosing to serve after winning the coin toss. Handshakes with the officials all around.
Start warm up.
So much to say about these different players out here. TRULS in Singapore exited a little bit earlier than his seating would have suggested, falling at the hands of none other than Kanak Ja, who you saw well handled earlier today by Felix Lebrun. The 23-year-old TRULS MOREGARD has taken down world number 1 Paris at the Olympic Games, and in WTT has had some quite big results. 2 titles to his name. 11 years of pro, he's got so much feeling. The last 3 events in WTT, well, he had a semi-final performance in the Champions Frankfurt, the finals Fukuoka, quarterfinals not too shabby. And Singapore Smash, round of 32 is going to be less than what he had hoped for. Many of his fans just the same. On the other side, 32 years old, Jonathan GROTH, world ranked 18, 17 years of pro, has been a staple for Denmark over the years, a title to his name, and nearly 60% win rate at WTT. It's tough to imagine, but if you ever meet someone who's competed in a WTT event, you know they're legit. I had a chance just recently to play a challenge match against a young Malaysian player who's played in WTT, and I will tell you I stood no chance. TRULS MOREGARD with 80% of the fan vote here. Jonathan GROTH on the other side in this Scandinavian battle with the remaining 20%. Cast your votes at worldtabletennis.com or on the WTT app. And if you want prize money, well, focus, train, take care of yourself, and make sure that you start playing some WTT events, because $60,000 goes to the champion, but it doesn't happen overnight. And while luck might play a role, as many would say, well, you create your own luck. So the hard work pays off to get these players this far. Get ready for some variety, chop blocks, lobs, flat hits, and everything else. TRULS brings the variety. There's no telling who will win this one.
GROTH versus MOREGARD. The first game, GROTH to serve. Love all.
So in the best of 5, it's Jonathan GROTH starting off with the serves, making sure that the table's clean, the hand is dry, and he's ready to go. Best of 5, love all. Good length on this push. TRULS leaves it right near the baseline. Subtle way to win the point. Bottle challenge serve and the footwork tested, but he glides. GROTH just moves right along to that forehand.
2-1.
A nice tight serve here, testing GROTH's parallel backhand. There'll be adjustments made throughout. Oh, timing from TRULS, the first one off the bat.
Confluence is the connected workspace where teams can do it all. Like this developer, mapping out a clear architecture.
Responsible for that gasp.
Two, three.
Good pressure here from GROTH. It's funny, there are a few tennis-like mannerisms that MOREGARD has. From his sort of wiggling on the receive, the way he maneuvers around there, to his occasional two-handed backhand that we've also seen Ugo Calderano successfully pull off.
3,
Calliang indeed. GROTH there with the soft touch to keep TRULS off the attack. Looked like he was about to attack there. Sorry, the other way around actually. GROTH making the opening attack. I'm sorry, let's just erase the last 15 seconds of life. GROTH pushing it from the baseline. Good time to be a human.
3, 4.
Jonathan GROTH again. Star power is one thing. There are a lot of players in the game that are dangerously good. That's a good example of one. GROTH right down the line. We've seen him take down some big names in the game over the years. The reason Denmark finally qualified for Paris this past summer. He was a key factor. Break off the net early on. Not a bad recovery at all. TRULS with a chop block off the net. Check this out. Comes in. Heavy side spin to get himself an under the table opening. Ooh, with the body turn, TRULS brings it back to the backhand side of the table. He's crafty, he's clever, and he's quick. Watch the way he holds the racket, especially when he's on the receive. TRULS uses the same tactics on serve with that very loose grip to get more racket speed to brush the ball.
5, 6.
Dad watching from the bench, Carl. Just thinking about the different inspiration that players have. I've seen TRULS as one of the only players in the game currently to do signature serve from Liu Goliang.
6, 0.
And the point before this, he did something that we saw a lot of from Ma Lin. The after motion where he'd wiggle around, but modified shovel serve here. Good control in the short game. TRULS ties it up. Touch game again. So many different ways to win a point. I think the spectacular play that we've seen from TRULS over the years has been a lot when he's behind the table, when he's on the run. But right now he's forcing GROTH to make some adjustments in the short game. And a longer serve here. GROTH invites the opening attack from down low as TRULS puts side and top spin on it from under the table. It's a secure spin shot.
8, 6.
Oh!
8, 7.
And a favor returned here in terms of opportunities. TRULS dangling it off the forehand for his opponent as well. GROTH making the most from under the table. It's funny, the way TRULS holds his racket with 3 fingers almost looks like a waiter in a tray before he hits the ball on his serve. And quick reaction with that backhand. His loose grip and his constant change of grip allows him to maneuver and do different shots to the ball all the time. In the same session as we see Adriana Diaz, TRULS MOREGARD, with a very similar style in terms of his backhand punch, variety in the service game. Chop blocks. Little table tennis karma out here as the net ball comes back for TRULS. And it's 3 game points for TRULS after trailing in this game by quite a bit early on. Cracking backhand using the length of the table here. You can add that extra bit of power to a shot when you choose to go on the long diagonal. Just got a bigger margin for error there. Should give you some confidence. It's a safety net, really. Steps around looking for that short side, and one more game point saved. I mentioned earlier, Adriana Diaz, the only Puerto Rican I know to play in the Chinese Super League. TRULS MOREGARD playing the Chinese Super League even more recently. It's been a while since we've seen a Swede do that. And the block right back on the cross court. TRULS secures game number 1, 11-9. And in this best of 5, he'll need 2 more to get through. GROTH looking back at the table as if he didn't deserve it. It comes down as baseline as can be in a tight game 1, game 2 in this men's singles round of 32 to follow.
Känns det bra? Eller? Känns det okej? För fan. Han spelar ju bra på dina skruvar. Så är det lite så. Håller du bollen på bordet och spelar med dem så märks det att du är en bättre spelare.
Second game, MOREGARD to serve, love all.
Back for the action, game number 2. It's TRULS to start it off with the serves.
One, love.
And right back, he keeps backing up, but still manages to play the ball way out in front to keep the pressure on with those backhands. TRULS takes the first point on serve.
1-0.
But a steady drive here as GROTH keeps that hand cool. Going 1-1 on receive is often good enough to get the victory if you keep it up, as there tends to be an advantage on serve. Oh, chop block so wide as that carries to the wide forehand of GROTH. Side spin on this, get ready. There it is. Ooh. Looking sweet here. Turn sideways. Some drama in the body language with the pressure coming in for TRULS. Another chop block, and he can feel the opponent coming in and says, nope, I'm going to rush it back to your backhand. GROTH making a move here. Good fishing shot. Just not enough time on the next ball to react, with TRULS keeping that pace up. Still in play, the point goes on. TRULS making his way back in. Inside out forehand, the lob. GROTH wide. TRULS to the open table. TRULS, mind-numbing. Absolute insanity out here. Scratch your head, I dare you. Was he out of the point for a moment? The crowd was never out of this. Side topspin, and TRULS with a flat hit forehand to the open table. Oh my goodness.
3-2.
What are you doing to me, says GROTH. Ay-ya. And that for a 1-point lead.
3-0.
And right after it, a point about 1/10 the length, worth just the same. Wow. WTT social media. If you're not already following on all social media, I'm sure you'll be able to see that from a bunch of different angles.
4-3.
Who knows, maybe even a super duper slow-mo cam. Some cool vertical clip. Growth in front by 1 against the 7th seed here. The early parts of game 2.
Three, 5.
It felt like 3 of the first 4 points or so in this game involved chop blocks from TRULS. He just seems to be a very instinctual player. Ooh, chop block stays so shallow. We've seen him snake the ball and make it come back over the net. This wasn't too far from that. Watch how shallow this ball stays. Okay, from this camera angle, a little more mid-distance. But still, the table's very gritty, which is great for kick.
6-4.
Meaning a bit of side spin really goes a long way. The table doesn't ignore your side spin. There's no slide. That for me is the sign of a good table.
Six, 5.
Quick to get in, touch it right off the bounce, TRULS. Still down by 1 though, as Growth has a second serve here. Extra pace near the base. It's Growth there, taking control of the real estate near the table. It's not an easy ball. That could have been the end of his racket. I've seen other left-handed Europeans going for similar shots on the opposite side of the table that didn't necessarily work out the way they wanted, to say the least. Keeping the pressure on Growth. Again, it's not always the flashier player that wins the point. Good bend on this ball. An extra side spin when it comes back. Growth hitting the outside of the ball to make it curve.
8-6.
One of the more traditional shots out here that you'll see from TRULS as he brushes straight over this ball on the diagonal. Oh, a bit of a net here from Growth after a good recovery on the serve. A fast, long serve to the backhand, and it seemed like TRULS already knew where it was going. Heavy side with the top spin in the last 2, but you see the change. The ball staying extra low off that net. There's the power. Now, I hadn't mentioned this in a long time because I simply forgot about it, but TRULS MOREGARD has a lot in common with certain Chinese players on his forehand stroke, and it's how far his elbow gets from his body. It's not a European-style forehand, it's a full arm stroke, and he demonstrated it there with that flat hit. Tough to control this heavy spin. And it is 3 game points for Jonathan Growth. Ooh.
10-8.
A little bit of table tennis karma there. Some delayed, but TRULS gets it back. Will break off the net. It's been fairly balanced throughout this match so far. 1 game point saved. 2 more to go for Growth. I'm going to do you a solid and look at worldtabletennis.com real quickly to let you know that the winner of this match will be playing former European champion penhold sensation Dang Qiu. Chop block gets
11-8.
handled. GROTH
Game to
takes the
block.
game, and it's tied up at 1 game apiece after an 11-8 victory from the Dane. And the spin that comes in is constantly varying, but his eye on it, that's what GROTH has been keeping control of. Interesting. It's got a sound over here. Curious if it came from the MOREGARD corner or not. But 1 game apiece, game 3. We'll see who takes the lead after this.
Ingen som kan serva handled för att de blir skjuten med. Inte en vecka att på bordet.
So here's a look back at that incredible rally. It'll be all over social media quite soon, I'm sure. TRULS way back behind the table, lob to the baseline. Big athletic stroke, covers the middle. Ripping backhand, jumping. Touches ground here, chase this one on the lob. Inside out forehand, spin to back GROTH up and make a little space, and he finds the opening. Celebration and apology all at once. He's like, hey, bro, what you doing, bro? Come on. To my Arab friends in the world and also Swedish friends, I think bro works for both cultures, which I like. Good times.
Third game, graph to serve, love all.
So the plot thickens and the battle is dead even at 1 game apiece here. It's GROTH with the momentum and the serves.
Let, love all. One, love.
This backhand is too pretty. Wasn't even settled, meaning his feet hadn't planted. Watch the timing on this. He's just backing up, turns the wrist, and while he's moving, loads that ball with pace.
1, 2.
Hey!
2-0.
Emotions run high on the MOREGARD side. Wears his heart on his sleeve and gets himself fired up here early on. And a best of 5, every single game is a bigger piece of the pie. And at 1-1.
I'm sandwiched between the 2 generations. I'm helping to give caregiver responsibilities to my dad and then my son who's just out of college. So it's like, where can I put my money where it can grow a little bit faster? I found Wealthfront and let it work its magic. The cash account is more like, what will my dad need? And then the investment account is what I want. My passion is traveling. I traveled to 6 continents. My last continent is what I'm trying to save for. You get that, oh, you've earned so much this month. It's like, hey, I made a wise decision there.
Make a change here in his game. He's a stable player. He's solid on both wings. He's got bigger wingspan here. He's a left-handed player. That said, he's world rank number 18 versus world number 7.
Jag är ju asbra på det. Jag springer runt, men jag spelar dåligt. Jag måste bara spela bättre.
Det är bara helt upp till dig. Du gör ju rätt grejer.
Du kan inte serva en kort för att någon som händer.
Well, the father-son duo talk it out. Yuan Jianan warms up with Pritika Pavad. Coach Ludovic there working with them. And Bernie Such of Romania, the second Romanian star you'll see today. One of the best records against the most dominant women in the game in recent years. That battle coming up right after this. It'll close out the night and you won't want to miss it. Much like TRULS MOREGARD, Bernadette Such wears her heart on her sleeve and has a very flashy, flamboyant game.
Hi.
So GROTH first back to the table. Nobody on his bench. I wonder if Anders is still here.
2-3.
Had a tough opponent in Tomokazu Harimoto yesterday, day 1 in the round of 32. Left-handed teammate of Jonathan GROTH. And it all pays off, that last lean onto the left leg to play the forehand from right in that crossover point, the pocket. Get ready. This here, that's a tough one to recover from. TRULS knows it. But he made it count. Good setup there, and the timeout so far has been handled well by the player who didn't call it. TRULS continuing his streak. Bottle challenge serve and the parallel attempted, but GROTH with his first point since the timeout. He's got the serves back.
Hold it! 4-5.
It's funny, we don't see so many players playing red on the forehand. Some people say that the dye and the black rubber, that if you just test them, it's slightly spinnier, and that the forehand needs more spin, and the backhand needs more speed. But we're talking minutia here. I always played with the red rubber on the forehand. Shot block baseline and the punch to follow. A little bit flatter, that backhand. I feel like record producers. I could be wrong. The Gaspers. Oh, what an angle here.
5-7.
Didn't even bring out the big weapons. It's subtle, but it's powerful. Opening backhand. And this arcing ball wasn't the fastest shot, but it had a lot of spin on it. Perfect placement. Good deep push here. TRULS keeps it uncomfortable with a 3-point lead now. He's 3 points away from a 2-1 lead in games. Everything in this point awkward from TRULS. The receive shallow, a little bit high and slow. But it was so odd. The way it came down, you had to just sort of double check. Quality on the forehand sets up 5 game points. TRULS with the second serve here.
6-10.
Good control in the short play. GROTH saves 1 game point. Keeps it going.
7-10.
Variation in the service placement. Think about where he's gone and what serves he's brought. Modified shovel serve there, as opposed to the more common pendulum serve. And he does it again. What?
10-8.
TRULS. TRULS started a chain reaction with the crowd. This was Joker-esque. Just watch his face here. He needs to hand a card that says he has a condition. Trying to remember that scene.
10-8.
I love it. Sometimes you just have to laugh. And a big point here to close the door. TRULS puts the point behind him just before that and focuses on what's next and secures the game. Again, whatever it takes to bring out your best performance. We have players that chole as loud as can be. We have players that express their frustration. We have those that simply move on. TRULS up 2-1.
Bestämt, du drar. Då skicka servar då som du känner bekväm med. Servar på forehandsidan. De går ju bara in. Jag servar upp där heller. Vill du göra kort så blir den inte kort. In och överraska nu. Kom igen. Positivt.
First game, MOREGARD to serve. Love all.
Back for game 4, TRULS with the 2-1 lead in the serves. Net for net they go, and the final net does not cross and hit the opponent's side of the table. It's TRULS with the point. Bit of extra muscle into that one as he turns the corner. TRULS powers it up. Spin comes in, the punch. There's the wrap across the chest.
That's love 2.
Oh, backhand. There's still table there to the depths where the lines meet in that corner. Cross court, a wide forehand shot to a lefty can be effective early on. No timeouts left for GROTH. Ooh, good touch. Soft hands pay off. Subtle way to win a point. This will be a cool angle to check it out from. Looking for a bit of a flick there.
4-1. One, 5.
Continuing on his way, TRULS at the first towel break with just upwards of 83% of the first 6 points. MOREGARD fighting. Fun combinations of languages and cultures there. Good placement on this one. GROTH to the wide forehand. As good as TRULS' backhand is, he'd much prefer his forehand. He actually said recently, I have no backhand. Ooh!
6-2.
Little football action there. GROTH handles well. Short side of the table, the hand switch doesn't reach it. TRULS trying anything he can to get that ball. Would have been too hard to turn your back to the table to reach across the chest here. Doesn't miss by a lot.
Timeout.
GROTH smart here. And the timeout on TRULS' side. MOREGARD. Let's see, still up by 3. It's a must-win for GROTH.
Farligt sätta en sån boll. Ja. Det är så. Det är jättebra nu. Det är bestämt. Oavsett vad du gör liksom, så måste du fokusera nu på det som funkar. Har du honom i allting? Skicka långt. Skicka långt. Oj, fortfarande lite överraskningar att ge. Det var så mycket. Så ha lite kul nu. Vad skriker vi efter dig? Älskar du dig?
Hi.
So players back to the table, the father-son moment here. I love the family. There's just such a good vibe from all the MOREGARD family. They inspire good energy. They just, I don't know. They're fun to be around. TRULS, no doubt about it, fun to watch. Expresses himself very clearly on the table. Interestingly enough, off the table, I personally have never seen him upset in my life. Not in the literal sense, anyway.
4-6.
I guess off the table, that's the only sense. Good times. Groth continuing his comeback streak, keeping his focus after a missed serve at 2-5.
Four, 7.
Well, this is a tough one for Groth because it felt like he earned himself a good look at that, a good opportunity. He's solid on both wings. He's won his fair share of points with a similar backhand. Ah, clever, clever.
7-5.
Ooh, come and get it. Leaving it just behind the net for you. Watch this touch. Nope, not going to attack. Keep on backing up, son. I realize we actually do have a son out here with a father, so thought Groth might play into that. Oh, dribbler.
8-5.
Top of the net, a creepy crawler comes across. Take a look here. Heavy spin on the pendulum. Soft touch shot. And oh, the pain. Oh, why, bro?
8-5.
Defense not for long. Right back into the offense as TRULS brings out the power from the backhand side. We've seen it before. An unusual backhand, a fishing shot in self-defense, and then right back into the attack. And TRULS secures another one.
6-9.
It's fun to see, no doubt about it. Percentages still favoring Groth when TRULS gets behind the table. 3 points between them. What an unusual point. TRULS constantly changing the rhythm, and he's got 4 match points now to get into the round of 16. Oh, right back on the line. A taste of the medicine that was prescribed earlier in that highlight point. Groth on the stretch. I love the way the arm swings behind his back after playing that shot. He knows it's not coming back. But TRULS takes it. TRULS, got any poses for us? Good handshake. Sign of respect out here. Hey, it's us. We're on TV. There it is. The pose they love. The fingertips to the forehead. He saw his dad do it when he was young. Scandinavian comedians were doing it on TV. And at the World Junior Championships back in the day, TRULS just felt it. It just came out of him. Well,